Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 Hit and Play podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. I'm alongside my bestest best friend, Jan Chubax Chuidian. How are you doing, Chubax?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Awesome. And again,
Long week,
for
but good.
yeah, it was a short week for us, but here in the United States, but still a tough week. Just a quick reminder again, the plus three HP network of shows and channels are just a couple of bros, couple of best friends trying to share the things that we like watching, playing, doing, and listening to. And hopefully, you guys get enriched from it and share us yours as well. You can watch us at bit.ly slash plus 63 HP on YouTube, and you can tweet at us on Twitter at plus 63 HP. We are now on most of the major podcast networks around the world, so you can search for plus 3 HP on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
That was some
So
work.
now that housekeeping is done, we have a healthy list of things to watch and be excited about, both on the movie, TV, and video gaming side. But as always, every week, we want to start our episode with a little bit of dad talk. So, Chabox, what's new in the dad front in your world now?
Such a long week. So today, this week, my wife was in isolation, quarantine.
Wait, what?
Just
She was
because,
quarantined
yeah,
because
because last Friday, Isabel, my daughter needed glasses, so she had to see the doctor, and then me and the wife had to go to the mall to get her glasses, and then 3 days later, she had a slight fever. So everybody's
mm,
paranoid right now. She had
yep.
the antigen test negative, but
Mm-hmm.
the doctor, her cousin that we listened to, said just isolate for a few days. She had the PCR done, expensive man. PCR done Wednesday, negative, and then we had the PCR again done yesterday. Results came in today and still negative, so she's back out. So for 5 or 6 days, I was alone with the kids, and
That would have been fun.
we were kind of
That's so much
isolated.
fun.
We were kind of isolated also from my in-laws because we lived in the same house. So it was just me and the two. Uh, I sent like a meme on my family group chat. Like the first day was like easy peasy. Second day it's like, and then by day four I was like pulling my hair out. Like oh my god.
Uh,
So
it's
there we go.
and for our listeners who are around the world, Chubax mentioned that PCR was expensive. Yeah, that's a thing with the Philippines. Like, healthcare is not as uh operationalized as most. Everything is like out of pocket for the most part. So even simple tests like PCR, because when I do my PCR test, it's
Free.
mostly free. I pay some copay, whatever, but it's mostly free. And yeah, and I told you a couple maybe a month ago, before I left for my house swap in Austin,
Mm-hmm.
I had a sore throat, felt a little fluish, so I had to go get a test because that's the world
Mm-hmm.
now. It's like any little flu, any little flu-like symptom or COVID-like symptom,
Yeah, better
you
be
have to
safe.
isolate and you have to do a test if you care about the people around you. So
A little easier when
um
you're single and living in alone, right?
not a problem at all. I have a cat to take care of. That's about it. And yeah,
And
you're 100% right.
but we are kind of lucky because we have extra rooms, so we don't need to do anything drastic. Just isolate, stay away for a while. So it's been crazy, but we had I always exercise the kids, so they always have fun too. It's just sometimes
That's good.
they go crazy, and when they fight, it drives me nuts. Like that's where we go with my daughter Isabella's line of the week. So
Oh, okay. Hit me.
she was fighting with Lucas, and then she turns to me and says, because she knows that it's like genetics. How naughty Lucas is from me. She blames me for his naughtiness, and
She's not incorrect.
for the listeners out there, when I growing up, my mom was a flight attendant, so like 20 days out of a month she was away. So Isabella knows that, so she's like, Dad, it's sad how grandma was always away when you were growing up. Because if she was there all the time and you were as naughty as Lucas is, he would be on your ass. That's what she said that to me. She would be on your ass if she wasn't a flight
One,
attendant.
she's not incorrect. I think she's quite perceptive.
Oh my god. It's just
See, kids
yeah.
nowadays are too smart. That's it's scary how smart kids nowadays are. Like, but it's great. I love that, my honorary nephew and niece is
Yes.
super smart. Like
Just to add to that, before our show started, we were watching F9. They watched it for the first time. And their reaction was, I was like looking at the mirrors, like Isabella was like, when Dom pulled the chains from the roof.
like the
Isabella's,
Hercules, the old Samson. Yeah, the
yeah,
Samson.
Isabella was like, what the hell? How is that possible? And then, when they did the magnet to flip the like the big
The big truck, uh-huh.
track,
Or the
Luca,
tank, yeah.
Lucas was like, how can two small cars flip that thing? It's like he's not wrong.
See, I mean, this is the thing. They are at the level of smart where it's logical smart. When you grow older, say, Isabella, Lucas, in 20 years, when life has beaten the hell out of you,
I,
you will just accept any
it
morsel
was.
of happiness in movies, much like F9. Because F9 has, if you really, again, we talked about this before. We didn't have a podcast then when we were talking about when I saw F9. It's none of it makes sense. Story, acting, action, none of it makes sense. Do we care? No. Is it still awesome? Hell yeah.
Hell, that's why
They're
there's.
making
That's my new line. Is it still stupid if it works? Can you still call it stupid if it works?
it's such a wonderful. I think that's the magic of F9. The magic of F9 is not family. It's not that. The magic is, making people suspend their belief in physics and logic enough to enjoy their damn movie. But I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait for Jacob to be back.
Oh, it's like
John
it's the
C.
last movie.
Isn't it back?
Uh,
But I think they're shooting it back to back or something. Like
yeah, so they're
two in
doing
one,
it part one, part
two in
two.
one.
Yeah. So F10 part one, F10 part two, fast 10 your seatbelt one, fast 10 your seatbelt two. Hopefully I hope they're that self-aware about their franchise that will work actually.
I don't think Vin Diesel is that self-aware.
Maybe he thinks it's cool, but like Vin, we love you. You're the best. We know that we have to end this franchise, this particular leg of the franchise. But I'm looking forward to all of the spin-offs. Um, well, we're talking about the end of a franchise, Fast 10. I'm sure we'll do a rewatch at some point. We wanted to dedicate a little bit of time in this week's episode about the start of a franchise, our franchise, the Plus 63 Hit and Play uh, network of shows and channels. Um, like we mentioned in episode 0 that we do this, like meet your box, all of our different friends, Mark, RJ, Pau, Arnie occasionally joins in. So we have a group of friends that have a weekly Zoom call and talk about all of the stuff that we are watching and listening to, having fun with, reminiscing about old times. So we figured it's nice to do like a project together where we can record for posterity, record for legacy, but if one or two people kind of learn something from the things that we've been doing, that's great as well. But we do have a few things that like we want the channel to have in its core. So I mean, there's 5 million podcasts out there. 10 million of them, speaks about the same things that we do, probably more intelligently. But again, between Chubax and I, we have 70 years worth of TV and movie watching and video gaming experience. But and by no means we're labeling ourselves as experts. So, in essence, our three main pillars of this channel
Is this our
is
like
one.
mission vision?
Yeah,
Company's mission
it's
and
tenets.
vision.
It's
Okay.
tenet because like we definitely do not have a vision. We definitely our mission is just to have fun. Um, but one thing it's we and like what we mentioned last week as well. We couple of almost 40-year-old dudes are starting their very first D&D campaign, which
Oh,
is
so good.
you know from the if you're looking at it from the outside it's like you guys have kids, you guys have jobs, you have bills to pay. Why are you spending 4 hours a week doing
I
D&D?
think
But
that actually makes it, better, right?
exactly, and
You
that's
know?
tenet number one is it's always great to learn something, but if you are learning things with the people that you love, it's just exponentially more better. So I got like
Agreed. Agreed.
yeah, number one, yeah. So for people out there too, who are like thinking about doing their channel or thinking about their weekly Zoom calls with their friends, learn something. And if you're learning something with friends and family that you love being with, it's just exponentially more fun that you'll ever imagine. So even if we are fucking up, or even if we're wasting too much time, or even if we're looking stupid in front of each other, it's so enriching because you're doing it with the people that you love. um and very closely related to that is number two: play things with the people that you love, because like learning is one thing and
Hey,
playing is
no.
another. So if you have a weekly basketball run, if you have a weekly board game night,
Or multiplayer
if you have a
game.
going online playing Call of Duty Warzone or Halo upcoming, again, you have an option to invite the people that you love to play. You don't have to play with random strangers. You can make friends and
That's
make
why
them,
I don't last with like Call of Duty. I always want to play with you guys, but our times just don't sync up most of the time.
yeah, we live on different parts of the world. But yeah, if you have something to play with, like ours currently is D&D, and do it with the people that you love. It is much more fun, less toxic that way. You have control on the people that you are interacting with. That's what in particular in the video gaming circles. Like I'm very happy that I've been hearing a lot about services that are like support groups or like hotlines,
Mm-hmm.
where people can call in and get help if they have been either bullied, or if they're feeling any thoughts of like suicide and whatnot. You don't think that the audience is whomever that is going to be with you. You can choose them. And then also it's like it's always great, like when Chubax introduces me to a show or a game,
Ooh,
and
I got a good one this week.
all
Oh,
right, good. I'm
give it
excited.
up.
I'm excited. And last tenet too. And this is the thing where this channel comes into play. It's like share the things, share things with people that you love. Again, we didn't have like a descriptor on what those things are. But if you keep on sharing things, be it good experience, bad experience, words, games, things, gifts, problems, if you share them and you're not bottling them up, it just gives an opportunity for your emotions to air out. And if you're doing it with, or you're sharing it with the people that you love, they will be the most honest and supportive people in your circle, right? So if you have friends, if they are really your friends, and if you're fucking up, they'll say that you're fucking up. And if they're really your friends and you had enjoyed something and you really want them to experience your joy as well, they're the first people that will appreciate those experiences. So I think for me, I traveled a lot in my early years in New York. I thought that I should be investing in things and toys and whatnot, because those things are things that I can use and will last longer. And I never really invested in travel because I figured like it's the experience is just me. But I realized now that having weekly calls with my friends, I can share that experience to my friends, what I've done, what I've seen, photos, videos, and ostensibly maybe they travel with me as well. So that's it. Those are the three tenets. Like anything that you want to add or
No, it's
comment on,
just
Chubax?
on the third one. It's just like if you're carrying something, whatever it is, like you said, always easy to carry it when somebody's helping you. You know.
100%.
So that's all. Just that's why what's one of the tenants. We just wanna reach it out there.
Yeah.
It's all love.
And yeah, it's all love. Like I mean, like for me, like I love hearing the daddy stories that Chubax and Mark, Dan. Like okay, every single one of my friends has kids now, so I love hearing their stories. It's not boring; it's enriching. So it's like for me, it's something that I can learn from if I do have a kid in the future. And I date around,
And
so
that's what I love to
my
hear. I live vicariously through you, dating
and
different
again,
people.
it's just living an experience and then learning from the mistakes, or enjoying the joys that I enjoy as well. But there you go. Hopefully, if people out there come across this channel, this show, this podcast, and eventually try to do it themselves, we hope that we helped you out a little bit. Having a little bit of purpose in anything you do actually helps, because like yeah, anybody can start a podcast, anybody can write a book and put it on Amazon and call themselves authors. But it would be nice to have a little bit of like, heart in it, make sure that there's you're learning from it, aside from just the doing. But yeah, those are our tenets. We also would want to like share some of our channel inspiration. So we mean, like I myself am very thankful that like most of these channels that I've listed in our run of show right now are channels that Chubax has introduced me in various points in my life, some of them in very very important points of my life, and then some of these I introduced him to. That's now it's like a weekly ritual. So we'll run through a couple of these one by one, and first and top of my list, right, is of course the kind of funny guys there at kind of funny podcast and kind of funny games. So um it's funny. It's like I'll tell my story, Chabox, and then you can tell me how you um got into discovering them, because like for me, I remember this vividly. um I was in the process of separating with my ex-wife. I was very very sad, very very depressed. um, and when I visited Chubax then in Las Vegas, he introduced me to a podcast called Knocking Boots.
Knocking.
Knocking Boots. So Knocking Boots was this like relationship, a monthly relationship chat between like the former IGN crew with like, but it will Greg Miller,
Greg,
Brian
Brian,
Altano,
Ty,
yeah,
Ty,
Tyroot,
Tyrut,
like ass to
and
ass. So like that was, it was just so fun. And when I first listened to it, it wasn't about the relationship podcast that made me enjoy. It's about just four friends talking and drinking and having so much fun, and that fun kind of like radiated through the podcast. And even then, that was what, 5 6, oh, that's almost 7 years ago when you first introduced me to Knocking Boots. um that was what kind of like hit me. It's like I wish if we were born maybe 15 years later, Chabox, and we
yes.
recorded all of our sessions when we were playing in the windowless room of Danny in his house, playing video games and reading manga, we could have been these dudes. Like we could have been that streamer house where we just play and have fun and dick around with each other, put it on YouTube, and maybe
Yeah.
made a career out of it. But again, weren't born that way. So that's kind of my transition to kind of funny, because Greg Miller is kind of like the boss man there and kind of funny. And it's just like, I'm not a big, I'm a tangentially a gaming person. So kind of funny games daily was not my show. My favorite show back then was what was that? The kind of funny
The
morning show
morning
with
show.
Nick,
Yeah.
right? That was my, and
Nick and Andy and Nick and
Nick
Tim
and
usually.
Andy. Yeah, so that was kind of my thing. And then now it's like, that was what, 2016, 2017, and then we're now in 2021,
2021.
and I've seen three of the kind of funny live shows, right? Every year that they have that
Mm-hmm.
January big thing, and I've seen the channel evolve, and it's the same thing. I love that they're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty much a lot of things that they're reacting to shows, summarizing stuff to cool things to do, cool things to play. Um, But in the end, the thing that I love about Kind of Funny is like they're just fucking friends. They're hanging out even not on shows, and that's it.
I
And then they're
know.
just
It's
like
just
doing it.
yeah. For me, it was just I growing up in the Philippines and then moved to Vegas, separated from all of you guys. So
Mm,
all I had was work and then playing some games. So I was always on IGN, for gaming stuff.
mm,
And that's when I got introduced to like Greg Miller. And then they split up and then they did Kind of Funny, so I just kind of followed along. I actually followed like later. I didn't know that, because I wasn't a
mhm.
YouTube guy, so I was just on the site. So when I found out that they were doing some stuff and Kind of Funny, and the Knocking Boots, man, the Knocking Boots is I just love because growing up, made a lot of mistakes, and especially with women, like I was too shy and stuff like that. And Knocking Boots was just like some advice I could have used a lot, but
Yeah.
they were funny enough. And again, being alone in Vegas, missing friends, being listening to them, you kind of at least had some a semblance of that, even if you're not directly with them. So for me, yeah, Kind of Funny. I like the party mode is what I love. Morning show, of
Mhm.
course, when they did the from the photoshops to the funny videos to the trailer reacts. I think for me personally, that's why I just like trailer reacts. Because with watching people react, because we rarely have time to be in sync to watch something together. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I can see because I remember before whenever we were together, I'd show you stuff, you'd show me stuff, we'd see each other react or a movie. Oh, I saw this
Yeah,
movie, let's
100%.
watch it. It's just like part of that. I may not know these people, but I'm sharing in their joy or in their criticism. So it's really really fun.
Yeah,
So
the thing about and we're spending a little bit of time with Kind of Funny because again, it touches so many things primarily through the chord of friendship, and then I mean their motto. They don't call their audience or fans. They call them best friends, and
yes,
that's kind of like how like our crew grew up. It's like yeah, our crew was we're lucky enough that all of our core group of friends are good people. There aren't like well, good in a general sense, like we're a bunch of assholes, but like in a general sense, like nobody screwed each other up. We supported each other. We Most of us were in the honor roll. Most of us we were in a varsity team. Like we were like really pushing each other up to be better,
varsity.
and it was
But
it was baseball in the Philippines where it was like a sport. Um,
I couldn't
but yeah, I
run, but I
mean,
was in there also.
yeah, there you go. But again, back then, like every Friday, in your house, we read the same manga all at the same time. Like we'll be huddled around one CRT monitor with Chubax pressing
Watch
forward.
Tagalog Ipo.
Yeah,
Housekeeping Ipo, Tagalog.
a dubbed anime, Filipino dubbed anime, which is again that needs to be a thing. They need to put all of those like dubbed animes, like particularly Ipo on the YouTube channel, because like it was just like really cool. Like our voice actors are great. Um and ordering shaky speed, very unhealthy shaky speeds. I'm probably like drinking, like we're drinking 1.5 liter or 2 liter bottle of Coke and Diet Coke each person. It's like
I know.
those were the days, and kind of like seeing the Kind of Funny crew, do this themselves. I know it's like some of them it's planned, some of them is kind of like set up, but you can't fake authenticity. Like you can really see that they like or dislike being with each other in these shows. So it's fun, and the
Kevin,
thing is
Kevin,
like they're Kevin. I love
Kevin.
Kevin. Kevin is the best. But they're not experts. That's the thing. Like they're doing like in reviews of major franchises as themselves. So and you see your opinion like, oh, it's like I've always thought about that thing the same
Yeah.
way, and then
And
you realize,
there are
so yeah.
some movies where we disagree, and it's surprising. Like I'm always surprised when I like a movie that I like a movie that Nick likes, and then we disagree
Mm-hmm.
on because I think on the '80s movies we like the same stuff,
Yep.
but some of the newer movies we diverge a lot.
Yeah,
Nick,
that's the funny thing about like this. Like, I mean, I've been looking at Kind of Funny a lot, and like their ages are disparate. Like, Greg and Nick is one level, and then the Tim, the Tim and a little bit of
Tim and
Andy's and
Kevin,
a
I
bit
think.
like Tim and Kevin
And then Andy
and
Slow. Yeah,
Cool
the
Greg and then Andy, Roger, Barrett, Snowbike Mike. Now, fucking,
oh,
I love.
I love Snowbank Mike.
I will. So again, my goal within the goal of this channel is like if we become big, oh my god, I to party with Snowbike Mike in either New York or Tahoe is going to be, with the tarantulas it's gonna be fun. It is gonna be fun. But yeah, so I mean,
I'll just
for the
settle
people
for
who do that,
like a 50th birthday party, and then I have a pre-recorded message from Snowbike Mike hyping me up before I come out.
uh, what's up,
Right?
everybody?
That would be
This is your
awesome.
boy Snowbike. Oh, he's so good. He's like he deserves to have a seat in that crew. But yeah, so, I mean, we can spend like days talking about our experiences with both kind of funny and knocking boots. And again, I want to revisit knocking boots again in the future because you know uh, it's such a capsule in time. Like they
Mm-hmm.
stopped what 5 6 years ago recording, but the idea of a group of friends meeting once a month,
Getting drunk.
drinking very heavily,
And
and
Greg
then
almost
listening.
dying in one episode from alcohol poisoning. Oh
Um,
yeah.
uh, and for me, what I love is about like you could literally hear them progressively becoming either smarter or dumber in their comments as they get more drunk, right? So that's fun and that's natural and just like and I'm sure they help hundreds of people in answering their
Yes.
questions and again sometimes sometimes you don't need an expert. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen, right? Even the experts get their answers wrong. And sometimes if you have like four drunk dudes talking about
And
your
sometimes it's just
your
the fact
experience,
that somebody's listening.
100%.
Whatever their advice comes from after that is just a cherry on top.
Yeah. Well, so that's wow. We ran a little bit long, but again, kind of funny. Knocking boots kind of deserved it.
Big
Um,
big part of our world.
yeah. Our next kind of like channel inspiration, and this is the one that I introduced our crew to, and when I first
Yes.
clicked into this particular channel, I literally this is the first experience that I had with the term YouTube black hole, where you spend 4 to 6 hours straight just looking at every single video of this particular channel. I got introduced to Mr. Beast, Jimmy, a couple of years ago. Just and he wasn't dropping major dough yet. Back then, it was like a couple of grand, maybe 1 to 2 grand for the things that he
Maximum
gives
10
away.
10 maybe.
Maximum 10, and that was kind of
Yeah.
like super big in the times that when I started watching him. But I just like him for the sole reason that you know a couple of years ago it's all about YouTubers, influencers just being famous for being famous. And for Mr. Beast, he just gives money away
He just gives
to his
money.
friends and then sometimes to strangers that deserve it. And that just makes my heart, flutter with joy. So, yeah, I when I first shared the channel to like our crew, like when one of our weekend viewings
Yes.
or weekend
I
shares, I was
remember
like,
the first
I'm
one.
I'm not sure if you guys are gonna be into this because it's like the cut is this is so millennial. Like the videos are so fast, the
6
cuts are
second
so
and
quick, and then
the editing is
the idea
so slapstick editing, like explosions and like memes popping out.
comic sans.
Yeah, not it's like it's far from fancy, but
Mhm.
it's very
And
effective. It's very
it's
effective.
it's it's really harking to or taking advantage of the very very short attention span of people nowadays on how quick those things are. But again, Mr. Beast is for me is like I think I told the story before. I hope if I wish I become rich enough where I can just pay my friends to hang out with me and that will be their job. So they don't have to work. Because essentially this is what's happening, right? Like Chandler and Chris and Carl, they're just buds.
Yeah. No, but
right? And
what I think too is nice about Mr. Beast is, I think, of course, this is from an outsider, but they look like
mm,
they're really good people. He
exactly.
got he got lucky with Chris also and Chandler, because you can see that. I mean, I know they have a salary and stuff, but Chris just shares. He
Mm,
doesn't. He wins a lot, but he gives a lot of stuff to a lot of people. To his friends, he shares it whenever he wins. He feels bad and he shares with friends. I think Chandler's also from his whole family is like good people.
mm-hmm.
So Jimmy got lucky with that. And
Yeah.
for me, what I really love about Mr. Beast is, I of course I have a little older taste than my kids, but we have bonded over Mr. Beast. We love Mr.
Yeah.
Beast. My kids love Mr. Beast. They just love watching him share, and they laugh at all the quick cuts and the explosions and the funny stuff, which makes me laugh. Something that I wouldn't laugh at if it's just me, but sharing in their enjoyment. It's pretty good. I love it, and it's wholesome. Sharing always good. And they also love the gaming one and the Beast Reacts.
Mhm. Yeah.
So they just love that.
Anyway, like he actually built like a beast philanthropy channel as well. So he
I'm
has a
subscribed to
food.
that
I
too.
mean,
Yeah.
there's so many good things. Like again, I work in digital ads, and I understand how CPM works and how how he is getting dollars from the subscriptions and the views and the sponsorships and whatnot. And this is the way to kind of make a lot of money, but also help a lot of people by doing something relatively easy. Well, I mean, I know these videos. When I remember a few weeks ago we analyzed one of his videos where these videos are multiple days long shooting, and he's dropping hundreds of thousands of dollars giveaway for one. And then how
Uh-huh.
about the production? He has
Yes.
cameramen, he has security, insurance, a lot of those things that we don't see on the channel. So but this is simplistically, this is how you kind of make a lot of money for yourself, for your friends, and help a lot of people all at the same time. Use your fame and notoriety for something
Which
I think sustainable,
which in times now, well, even in times before, he just didn't. He didn't think that could be possible. How can I
exactly.
get
Yeah.
rich by giving away, basically?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
there's
Give
also like there's a lot of throwaway lines from Jimmy that I really appreciate. Like, uh, he's not materialistic at all. I think one
yeah.
time he got burgled, something was stolen, and since then he just doesn't buy anything that people will steal.
Mhm.
That's his solution. Other people would buy security, like move or get more security. He just said, I don't need anything." What a refreshing way to look at things.
Yeah. It's a great channel. It's entertaining one. I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter how good you are, if it's not entertaining, it's not gonna be
Yeah,
popular. So
that's why
they have the
his brother also is that his brother's not as good as a speaker as him. It's like as
mhm.
charismatic as Jimmy. I mean, even Jimmy's not like the most like the best host.
Mhm.
He still stutters and stuff, but it's genuine.
Yeah.
Genuine
He
and
eats his words. He doesn't speak as clearly as most. But
yeah.
I
But you
mean,
feel
in
his
the end,
excitement. You feel his excitement. That's what's
and
missing from his brother.
whenever he gives away money to people and the people cry, he cries too.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but that's again, there's something to say about, if you're a good person, good things will come to you, and this is a good example to it. But even just simplistically, I watch a lot of YouTube videos nowadays to learn how to produce all of these things that we're doing. There's so many other channels too that kind of like spend so many resources for pranks or for their friends or for
I'm
the
not a fan
giveaway
of
games.
pranks. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Mr. Beast just gave away $500,000 in his last video for in a game of like tag, after a game of like stand in the circle for as long as you can. And that's the final price. Between the start of maybe like a
That's
12-day adventure and then the end, he's been giving like 10, 5, 10, 20 a car for people as
because he doesn't like losers. He doesn't. He feels bad when somebody
When
loses.
people
So
lose.
that's why I keep
And
keep teaching him to my kids. You say he's the anti-prank. Instead of doing something surprising to make somebody feel bad, he does something surprising to make them
make
feel
somebody feel
better.
good.
So it's like it's so refreshing. It's just that it's so refreshing.
Yeah. And again, like, there's so many, channels out there, the Logan Pauls, the Jake Pauls, like, they are the traditional streamer household. Like, I'm just famous, I do cool stuff with cool people, I bring porn stars
Look
to our
good.
house and chat with them. We look good, we make a lot of money, we sell a lot of merch, we give away money. Yeah, you do. Are you giving away $500,000 on almost a weekly basis? No, I don't think so.
Did you
So
give
I'm
away
like,
an
I'm
island?
assuming like, but also like, I'm assuming like, if for example, we'll do charitable stuff if we had resources,
Yeah.
but will we give half of our revenue? I don't know. I don't know if I'm that good to give half of my. So if, for example, if our channel blows up, we get $100,000 per episode.
Will we give away
No,
50? Yeah, that's kind of big.
right?
Yeah,
Make
it makes it,
five
maybe,
ten, no
but
problem. Yeah,
yeah.
five
Oh
ten,
no,
no
no,
problem.
yeah.
Easy, easy. 15, 20. 50%. I don't think so.
Oh,
It's like, but again, so for those, for again, for people who have not subscribed yet, I love what he says. Go to your mom's account, go to your brother and sister's account, go to your dad's account. If they don't have YouTube accounts or like Gmails or whatnot, make them one and make them subscribe, because you know this is one of those few channels that I feel really, really good supporting. And all you have to do is click on a damn video and watch it, and you don't even have to finish it if you don't want to. So, it's again, but also it's a fun watch. It's a fun watch, and if you go to his very, 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 very first video, it's wildly different on the things
yeah.
that he was doing when he started his channel to what he was doing now. So you could feel the evolution of this dude. So Mr. Beast, we're a big fan. Again, if you subscribe to our channel, we wouldn't be too sad about it. That'll be nice too, right?
Well, I'll
Uh
send you Legos. Just a
the
small one.
next yeah, the next channel inspiration is a little bit more for our other show, our weekly D&D channel. So this is more Chubax's side. So I'll let you run, like, describe how the next channel kind of came about, and why do you think it's so fun and engaging, and how why it all got us hooked into not only the channel but the things that they play.
Yeah. Well, I think D&D has always been, as we've always been telling our viewers where they are, that we've been watching nerdy stuff since we were young. We have
Mhm.
70 years between us, and you can't have watched all of those and not have known about D&D. So we were
True.
always aware, but in the Philippines, I don't know, but in our circle, it wasn't really accessible. No, we didn't know anybody who was doing it. It
Mhm.
wasn't. You couldn't find it easily in the bookstore, library. So we never had help to get introduced to it. But as I kept growing up, I kept seeing it, and I kept it just sounds fun. You
Mhm.
because basically that's what growing up in my games, I always tended to enjoy the RPGs. Being
Mhm.
in another world, being another character, even just for a few hours or a few hours a week. And D&D is just just I don't know if, like, I think the RPG just came from that.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about it, they just put it into another form. So the past, especially now in the pandemic, I'm just looking at YouTube more and seeing something like Critical Role. It's just inspired us, and then I kept watching. I'm like episode 11. It's like 4 hours per episode, so
It's a lot.
it's not
It's a
it's
lot.
not easy to watch. But seeing how much they had just have fun, and then we keep talking about it, and I keep also hearing you, like, you're interested because I heard you buy books and stuff. And then I found out that my cousin-in-law, my wife's cousin, has become or has been doing Dungeons and Dragons for a while, and he's been dungeon master. And when I heard you buy books, and it's like, well, I think he's gonna be all in, so let's just go.
There you go.
So
Let's
I
go.
asked him, and he was game, and that's and RJ was also game, and then we just scheduled it on Sunday, and we're on our what tomorrow's third. Tomorrow's gonna be our third
Third, yeah,
episode.
third
Yeah,
recording, yeah.
level 2 characters.
Level two.
I know, and it's
Yeah,
it's as fun as I expected. Just being in another world where we have another we live as our characters,
yeah.
and it's just as funny as I thought it would be. Even rolling ones and twos.
And,
Yeah, well, hopefully that will be something we can do perpetuity.
and the channel itself. So Critical Role is like they've been popular. They've been like the top channel on Twitch, or for a very long time, for years now. They've had multiple campaigns, and again, I was never into it just because it's so long. Like thinking. I mean, even like even the past decade here, I wouldn't know when I can carve out a 3 to 4 hour block to play a game with, to play a game. Period.
Mm-hmm.
But if you add the factor of play a game with your friends, then the 3 to 4 hour period kind of like changes to like hanging with friends and family, people that you love. It's like it's different. Time moves differently when you're doing it with cool people. But yeah, again, it took a very, very long time for us to find an actual game that will kind of like plant you in your seat and make you engage. Because like we've attempted Destiny, we've attempted
Yeah. Oh, we did
what
that. To
different.
be fair, we spent maybe 100 hours in Destiny too.
Yeah, yeah.
When you were in New York, I was in Vegas.
Yeah, but also the idea of that is like it's different when it's a video game because it's like there's short sessions, so
Yeah.
it doesn't allow for like right. You need 2 hours. Like it requires a lot, but
And
for me, what
to
drew
be
me
honest,
into
no phones. You really have to be engaged. Especially you
Mhm.
have to be respectful to the dungeon master.
the DM, yeah,
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 he's doing his story and can be on your phone or watching something else. So
it's just again, it's like one of those things. That's why I think it stood the test of time because it's one of those things where you're basically you're again it's role playing. You're actually playing a role during a game. Imagine there's a play that is happening and you're one of the actors, and you have to be in character at least as much as you can. I mean, we fuck up all the time, but like the idea of it is like you're in character, and of course, like if you're fighting monsters, you don't have a cell phone while you're fighting your monsters. You have to be looking at your sheet on the spells that you need to do,
yeah,
ask questions. So
be creative.
that's one thing. But the channel itself, I in the back of my head, I kind of understood like, yeah, yeah, they are the top voice actors in the
Yeah,
industry, all
but
of them.
what hooked me there is if you watch it more, you just see how much fun they have. Laura
Yeah.
Bailey skipped stuff. She skipped the like. She didn't skip. She walked out of the video game awards because there was
Where
a
she was
session.
nominated.
Yes, thank
Where
God
she was
she
nominated.
lost because she wouldn't have been there to accept the award because she didn't want to miss an episode. That's how much they want to play. They're not
Yeah.
forced to play. They're not paid to play. I
Mhm.
mean, they get paid now, but
Oh,
they
they're
want to.
getting paid
I know, but
loads and loads of money about that.
they
But I
love
mean,
to play.
and if and the thing is like if like who would fucking watch somebody play a game, a role playing game for 4 hours, right? Not a lot, unless you're like a hardcore fan of that particular game. But if you have fucking 8, 9 of the best voice actors in the industry playing their roles, and that DM dude, that DM is
Yeah.
fucking
Well,
stellar.
as Angelo, our DM said, he has a background in theater, so that helps a lot.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, you're essentially watching a live video game or like a role playing game being acted in front of you by not only talented voice actors. They're fun. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
are pretty too. Who's my crush? What's the name? Like
Keela,
um Keela. Like I like her. So she's cute. So I fucking stare at her.
Marisha.
So it's like so that's why it's also again the thread here is like everything that we do is just like fun being in a group, right? So like they seem to be genuinely having fun together as a group, as friends. Even Laura Bailey and the husband are there too, as a power couple. So Critical Rosa, it's a another channel that for the, even if you're not interested in D&D, if you're just interested in people playing games or role playing, that's going to be like a good thing for hopefully you guys check out. If you're living under the rock and under a rock, yeah, maybe you've never seen an episode of Critical Role, but if you are, so that there you go, you have one more thing. um so the last like channel or like kind of like inspiration is more basically just the look and feel of the channel that we're going to go through. So I have here NBA Desktop, so that is in all caps NBA. Both shows that so NBA Desktop was Jason Concepcion's Emmy award winning um Emmy award winning show when he was in the ringer. So he basically just, does very, very simple reactions to what had happened in the NBA for that particular week in a
Welcome to the
very, very
Takeline
fun
YouTube
way.
channel.
Looking through players' social media, looking through people what have said in post game conferences and whatnot. And it's just fun, and it is smart, and it is scathing sometimes. Like it's like what we think about if we're experts at a particular sport but not 100% expert. Like he mixes sports and pop culture in a way that is extremely entertaining, and the episodes are short. That's the good thing about it. It's like, NBA Desktop before was like 10-13 minutes. Right now he moved from the ringer to Crooked Media. He has his channel there, Takeline, and his shows there will be like 20-25 minutes, which is kind of great. So I like the fact that it's super simple. It's just Zoom with him and his co-host or him and his crew, and then they chop it up in a fun way, and then it's fun. So if you are a fan of of pop commentary on sports and anything that is surrounding it, yeah, it's a fun and enriching watch. So that's not this is more of like, he condenses all the cool stuff in such a short package that if you're in a rush, NBA Desktop in all caps is one of those important stuff. So yeah, that we ran through a lot, both the inspirations for the channel and what we want the channel to kind
Feel
of
like.
of feel, and hopefully the heart shows. Now we're not gonna do that every episode. So this episode
Just
one, so we
yeah.
just wanted, yeah. But the real crux of the episode are the things that we've been watching, things that we want you to watch as well, things that we are very excited to watch and do and play. So we're gonna go to the meat of our shows, and we're gonna start with what Chubax is watching. You're gonna show me something that I have zero idea what it's about. So this is gonna be like a
Here you
full
go.
on what you've been watching, so you can
Yeah,
tell me a little bit more
just
about
one
it.
show for today. So as
Let's
I
do it.
said, this week we've been separate. I've been separated with my wife. She's been in another room. I've been with the kids, and she wanted something to watch. So I talked to another friend, my friend Ford, and asked for her. My wife is a little like me. We don't want too heavy. We don't want too depressing, too much drama. Just want a fun, chill series, where there's no love triangles to like. We both don't like the love triangle aspect of a romantic movie or show. So my friend Fort recommended Hospital Playlist. It's a K drama, and
You and your K dramas.
dude, you're gonna love this. Let's see a quick trailer.
그러니까
예.
이렇게 5명이 제일
So I'll
친한
talk about it
친구들.
after.
네, 동기예요. 여차저차
Wait. Run it back. You
일단
ain't got no video sound.
한마디로
Oh, okay, hold on.
So for the audio listeners, we're seeing a group of, I'm assuming, Korean
five.
nurses.
Doctors, 5 doctors.
Oh, okay. I saw Scrubs and stuff like that, but okay.
All pretty like really good doctors. Okay, here we go.
그러니까 이렇게 5명이 제일 친한 친구들.
네, 동기예요. 여차저차해서
My best
친해졌어요.
friends went to school together,
Yeah.
came close.
They're good.
단점이 없어. 홍일점이자 걔들의 실질적인 정신적 지주지.
엄마? 아 알겠습니다.
커피도 엄마한테 먹어도 되는지 물어보지 그래.
하루 한 잔은 괜찮대.
석형이는
교수님.
은둔형 외톨이.
Socially withdrawn, that guy. Yeah.
네, 어머니. 친아들과 달리 활달하고 밝은 양아들 입준이에요.
이 새끼는 본과 때도 맨날 나이트에 살았거든. 실습을
That's my favorite guy. He's like the extrovert. He's so funny.
인싸라고.
Clubbing every night. Okay.
But always high score. He's still the best scorer.
죄송합니다.
He's a strict like not asshole, but he's like a jerk. Yeah.
정원이 병원에서 사람들한테 하는 거랑 사생활에서 우리한테 하는 거랑 완전 달라.
And
He's
the
like
one
the
that
most
is like,
sensitive.
okay, the loving doctor.
의사들이 왜 장담할 수 없습니다. 아직 모릅니다. 더 지켜봐야 합니다. 이렇게 애매한 말만 하는지 알아요? 의사는 말에 책임을 져야 하거든. 의사가 환자에게 확실하게 할 수 있는 말은 딱 하나예요. 저희가 할 수 있는 최선을 다하겠습니다.
최선을 다하겠습니다.
최선을 다하겠습니다. 그 말 하나밖에 없어요.
하루 참 길다.
여기 있어 빨리 타. 여기 있어. 빨리 와. 야. 아 잠깐만 기다려봐. 빨리 와. 야 너도 좀.
So just
Hospital place.
yeah. So just in that trailer, actually, I saw this is their season 2 already is out. I saw the trailer
Yeah.
for this long before, and I kind of didn't dig it because from the trailer you can see that it's the last part, especially there's a lot of drama, right? It's not.
It seems like okay, good. Well, in the trailer you have to put all the range of emotions there. So okay.
I know, but this is like the chillest show you can have, dude. It's like
Ooh.
you're gonna love it. It's so chill. It's so relaxed, and it's like us. It's all about positivity. So like in a scene, like this is how they handle it. Like in an episode, one of the guys finds out that their wife is having an affair. So they show 2 scenes of him being sad, or not sad, like thinking and sad a little bit in his office. Next episode, and he didn't tell his friends. Next episode, it's done. They're divorced. He's not moving on, but you know, it's not. They don't dwell on it. It's like he's
Mhm.
divorced now, and then everybody's moving on. So it's like that. They don't hold
Nice.
on to the drama. They don't. It's so fun. And I just want to show you one quick clip about how funny they are. This is like one of the guys doesn't know about Harry Potter, so they tease him about it. So it's like here. And they always try to eat together as much as they can.
뭐야? 1인당 한 통씩이야? 누가
Usually they
시켰어?
share one,
모르겠어.
but that's
일찍
like one.
먹기를 원이 시켰지. 아니 하나 둘 셋 넷. 아니 네 통을 누가 다 먹어?
So they're all shocked. Oh,
말고 누가 또 와?
안 와, 안 와. 아이, 와, 이거 다 우리 거야. 진짜. 야, 근데
But there are 5 of them.
포트폴리오를
yeah, but
어?
being
착한
doctors,
정원을 위해서 착한
you know,
마음.
some's busy or
원초용으로
you can always see that when they're having dinner, one's gonna be called away, and they're fine. It's normal. They're all, you know, surgeons. And there, who's Malfoy? He said. Yeah.
너도 몰라?
닥쳐 말포이.
말포이는 누구야? 아, 말포이가 먹으랴?
너
Oh no.
아니 드라마 본거 같은데?
김주란 진짜 지금 어느 세계에 살고 있는 거야?
어느 세계에 살긴 최첨단 21세기에 살고 있지. 그래서 말포이가 누구야?
이번에 새로 오신 부원장님. 그래서 들어봤을 거야. 성나 이름은 포이.
거짓말.
너도 참 못됐다. 모를 수도 있지. 그걸 가지고 애를 놀리냐 놀리기는. 신인 그룹.
It's a rookie boy group.
밴드.
이 새끼들이
So that's the show, and it's fun, and it's just lighthearted, and it's cool, and it's
Well, I mean, it's essentially like a Korean version of Grey's Anatomy and taking away all the drama. So,
yes,
like, I kind of like it.
yeah, and there's not like, I mean, of course, there's like patients that are in dire need of surgeries and stuff. But there's no. It's not like every episode there's like a crane collapsing or a bus crash or somebody saving somebody from a bridge. It is just there's
How many episodes per season?
12,
12, and it's on Netflix. So
and the second season is on 11 now. Next week's the final episode, the finale.
see, I have to check because like it's on Netflix Philippines. I'm gonna check if
Yes.
it's on Netflix US, but it seems fun. Like so like Chubax usually gives me K drama suggestions. Some of them I've loved.
Itaewon
One.
ka.
Well, the thing like it's weird because like your favorites are not necessarily my
Yeah,
favorites,
yeah.
right? Like the Descendants of the Sun, you rock that shit.
Yes.
I was like, "Wah." Luckily, like my girlfriend then loved it. She was the one who kind of forced me to finish that fucking show. It was nice. It was good.
You're welcome.
But
You're
it was
welcome.
like it
But
was
it's not your
super.
favorite.
It's not. It's again. It's super telenovela-ish.
Yeah.
And then
and
um,
that's true too. Like one of our critiques to this K dramas is the the romantic killing moments, where some they
takes
hold
like 15
hands.
episodes to
but-
kiss.
No. You know those scenes where the guy finally touches the hand or the shoulder or the face, and then there's like 5 shots slow mo with the same music on, right? In,
yeah.
in here, I can only like remember one scene, and it's not prolonged. There's no multiple shots. It's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
one time.
we're seeing a range. We're seeing a range of K dramas. Like your like one of your favorites is It's Okay to Not Be Okay. I enjoyed
Yes.
it. It's not my top because my top weirdly is still Itaewon Class.
Yeah.
It's very anime. It's very like dude gets
Yeah.
embarrassed, disappears for 7 years, and then
Revenge
come back, and
with
then
the
and then
party
and then slowly kind of like takes
builds his
over
posse.
the
Yeah.
again you're right that he has his crew
His
like
crew. It's like a gang, but in food.
yeah, and then slowly becoming like one restaurant, then a group of restaurant, and then now it's like yeah, but
Yeah.
so I really really enjoyed it the one class. But yeah, I'm gonna give Hospital Playlist a try. I didn't have it in the show notes this week, but the only thing that I saw this week was I don't know if you are all familiar, but the Escape Room Tournament of Champions.
Oh, I
So
haven't.
Escape.
Is it out already? How did you watch it?
It's finally out on demand. That's why I was able to watch it this week. So the first Escape Room, for those who didn't know, Escape Room is kind of like a B suspense thriller.
With one of our crushes,
YA. Deborah Ann Wall.
Deborah Ann Wall.
Uh,
Yeah.
I fucking love her. So the only reason why I saw the first movie because was Deborah Ann Wall was there, and I'll watch wherever she is in. But admittedly, this is not. It is a very B movie, very B movie. But
The first one? Or
there's
the second
something-
one? The first one.
both.
Oh, okay.
The franchise.
Okay.
But there's something entertaining about very light suspense thrillers that are
Mhm.
geared towards YA because it's they explain it a little clearer. You can clearly see the movement from Act 1 to Act 2 to Act 3. So the second movie is about again Tournament of Champions, people that have escaped the initial escape room with an additional twist, so you get to see
Oh,
a
don't
little
tell me.
bit more.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, you get to see a little bit more of the industry, the corporation that
behind it.
behind it, and that's good. But all that to say that is again not the best. I was entertained.
Is it as good as the first? No.
It's a little well. The thing is, I think they have a little bit more budget this time, so their
And that
puzzles
doesn't
are.
that doesn't never
Yeah.
mean better.
I
That
I
doesn't
think
always mean better.
True. Acting was a lot weaker. Because the lead person here now is the female protagonist, the lead female protagonist. I don't know if her heart was into the acting
Sequel.
per se.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the plot.
It's like essentially the same.
Okay. Just like
But
wider scope, like
wider scope,
deeper
bigger
scope.
scope, more elaborate puzzles. Well, not actually more elaborate, just like bigger puzzles because their
Okay.
puzzles are more like using the backdrop of New York, which is fun. The one note there is they're really trying to make this a franchise. So you can really see like they're telegraphing their punch. But to be honest, I'm in it. I'm in it. Like this is one of those like I just want like a semi-brainless movie that is
Well,
not
yeah. We
rom com or action. You know, if you
don't
want
all
some
have
some
like MCUs or anything. We need the
100%. So
range.
will I suggest people to watch that on in the cinema? Definitely not. You know, if you can wait for it on Netflix, sure. If you want to be stupid like me and rent it on Amazon Prime for 2.99, you can do that as well. But this is definitely like wait until it gets out on streaming services if you can, or if you want to fucking steal it, go fucking steal it, whatever. But there you go.
We do not
That's
control
okay. Sorry, take that back. We do not suggest you stealing, torrenting movies.
anything.
Um,
Anything. Feeling anything.
so that's one thing that I've been watching, and the other thing that I've been watching was the latest season of My Hero Academia.
Okay. I still can't push through it. I'm always stuck at like I've done like 3 rewatch. I always get stuck like 5, 6. I just can't take the Sasuke, the other guy.
The Bakugo, the
his
angry guy.
his anger is just scathing me. Always like just relax. I don't know. It's not it's turning me off.
I felt that maybe first, second season. Now we're on season 5. I don't know how these seasons kind of go, but like on Hulu, it's season 5. It gets way better. That's a good
Oh,
thing.
I know. I know there's a threshold. I just can't get past it.
Yeah. Season 5 though is I've been like speaking of kind of funny, Barrett is a big fan. He's been talking
Mhm.
about the latest season of My Hero Academia. I totally agree with what he says. I totally disagree with most of what Barrett says, but for the My Hero Academia stuff, very very happy to see that they are hitting their stride. They are hitting their stride where um lots of action, lots of good character progression because
Mhm.
that's the sickness of anime. You have to level up every season or every bout, and they're doing it in a way that it's not annoying. It's traditional still. Like, yeah, we're gonna train with a bigger guy and gonna have a, we're gonna work harder. We're gonna go from school to the real world and learn there. It's the same beats, but it is interesting because there's a lot of characters. There's
Mhm.
so many heroes and villains that they kind of have to go through on a regular basis. And I love the fact that they are centering with the 3 main characters, which is Deku, the guy,
Mhm.
Bakugo, the angry guy, and
Who's the
Ikaragi,
third?
Ikaragi, the
Half
half
ice,
hot,
half
half
fire.
cold. Yeah, yeah. So they're centering. So that's the good thing about it. You have a center. They're like the pivot point, but they still kind of make sure that all the other 2 dozen classmates, and
How
there's
are
two
they?
classes now,
How are they
right? So it's good.
handling? Because another turn off for me is the Deku's power, where it's always there's a big how do you say it?
So that's
Big
that's the other repercussion, like like it
yeah,
damages his body. So
yeah.
they've went out of their way to explain that he has controlled how to level his power so that it won't injure him. So they'll keep on saying that's why I only use 20% of wait,
Yeah, but
one
when the
for
big
all.
fight comes, he has to.
They
Does he go
I
out?
won't spoil it. But I mean, the one negative thing that I will say about the latest season of My Hero Academia is, as usual with the anime, there has to be a level upping version. So unlocking of gates of your power that are damaging or
Mm,
whatever. So there's another 6 levels of that where you're
gotcha.
gonna see. But again, they're doing it more of like they're not centering on the powers this time, which is kind of great. They're
Mhm.
centering on the when and how, anticipating when the problem is going to happen so you can be there and you don't put yourself and other people at risk. So that's kind of like the good portion of it. That's why they're doing work like like internships like or part-time jobs in real hero agencies so that they can get experience, because like it doesn't matter how strong you are if you don't know how to get there, if you don't know how to anticipate, you're going to always miss, because unlike school, you don't get graded, you don't get a second chance in the real life. So my Hero Academia is still like one of those A, maybe S tier animes out there. The thing now is like I caution you and all of the other viewers out there is you should start. You should really,
Push through the
you
threshold.
know, and you should really watch these episodes as maybe do like a marathon every season ends, because we're at 100 episodes now, 108,
Wow. Well,
right? I mean,
I'm from One Piece stock.
that's the
That's how
thing.
much.
That's my problem now. It's like I'm not gonna fucking watch 900 episodes. I won't able to rewatch that. So might as well, like, now that I'm assuming that My Hero Academia will be, will attempt the One Piece method of like it's gonna go forever. You don't want to be like daunted with the fact that I don't know when to jump in, because it's like
Yeah,
it's too deep
too
now.
much.
There's too much lore. So yeah, those are the only things that I've seen this week. And we save the last bit. So we're almost at the tail end of the show. And this one was fun and difficult, because like we wanted to keep the reactions to these trailers, both on the video game side on and the movie side, as fresh as we would want. So Rox, let's start with um of course, if again another time, if you've been living under a rock, on Tuesday they sent out the first Matrix Resurrection, so Matrix 4 teaser trailer, teasing that the real trailer will come out on a Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, and it did. And Chubax, you haven't seen this trailer.
No, I have
Okay,
not.
so you're gonna watch the trailer in full. I've seen the trailer. Unfortunately, I couldn't help myself, so I have my thoughts. We'll run through the trailer. You can react to it. I'll try to be quiet because I know you haven't seen it, Ben. And then we'll have our thoughts after on how hyped we are on the upcoming movie that's coming out in December.
Okay, just okay, go.
Go.
Thomas? You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Am I crazy? We don't use that word in here.
Neil Patrick Harris. I love him.
Hi.
Have we met?
One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall.
What was that?
Time to fly.
Is that guy playing Morpheus?
We don't know yet. Seems like it, but maybe it's a red herring.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. You don't know me, no?
This Christmas?
Yep. December 22 on theaters and HBO Max.
Holy shit, that looked good. Holy hell, looks good.
Right?
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Right? All right, keep it on loop and then we can discuss. But what are your initial thoughts about the trailer and about just like the general
I
Matrix
mean,
4 in general?
it looks good. I just not having Lawrence Fishburne there kind of takes a little bit, especially if when they replaced him with somebody that looks like. I mean,
Well, I mean, Yahya
Kinda has
Abdul
this-
Rahim.
I mean, I like him, yeah, but it's
Yeah,
too,
he's
too
having a
s-
moment.
He's too similar to how Lawrence Fishburne looked, you know. So at first look, you might think it was him, you know, if it looks fast. But so are we thinking what this is another layer from before or like
So again, I tried not to look at the
theories and
Easter egg theories and whatever. Like my personal theory is like it seems like this is our Neo and this is our Trinity. I feel that they probably just fixed them when they died on the three, and then they put them back into the Matrix because Neo is important. Or this is just like so. I've seen the trailers multiple times, and there's a portion there where Trinity was screaming, and then there was kind of like an echo
Yeah.
of her image, right? And even that way, when and on that scene where Keanu Reeves was looking at the mirror, and then like a different face kind of opened. So figuring maybe different versions of Neo, different versions of Trinity. Right? There's multiple versions of them all the time. Okay, again, it's
what,
it's a-
like reincarnation.
yeah, well, but they did say that the Matrix, it's a cycle. It happens.
Yeah. He was like
over
the
and over
sixth.
and over and over.
He was like the
Yeah,
sixth
sixth.
one.
So maybe
But
like this is
we,
kind of
we didn't think that it would be him again. You know,
Mm.
there's just another one, but it's not
Yeah.
necessarily Thomas Anderson.
yeah. So maybe like again, in this version, it maybe another Thomas Anderson that is Keanu that's looking
Okay.
like John Wick. So, but in the end, it's like I was looking at it, it's like looks fun. Looks like it's going to be
I'm all
action
in.
packed.
I'm all in. I
Yeah.
love Keanu. I love the Matrix. So
Yeah, I love Carrie Ann Moss.
I love Karen
And
Moss.
it looks like it's going to be good action. It looks like it's going to play around the levels of.
It's the Wachowski, right?
Yeah, one of the Wachowskis, Lana Wachowski.
Lana. Okay.
Yeah. Um, and which was funny too. Second, we'll probably we'll react to this when we watch this and talk about a little bit of history about the Wachowski brothers. But I remember when this came out, like the real Matrix, the first Matrix, revolutionary movie, something that like
in
when
so
we
many
saw,
ways.
like we were just like dumbfounded how amazing that movie was. But everybody was talking about virtual reality, being trapped in one thing. We never, not even a million years, thought that it was actually the Wachowskis metaphor for themselves being transgendered and then being
Yeah.
trapped in their own bodies and trying to get out of their own bodies. Like, wow, we don't talk about that much on the transition of both of them,
Yeah. Both
which
of
is
them.
funny too. It's like both of them will transition. So that's fun. So I'm hyped. I'm also very thankful that it's going to be on HBO Max. That's very surprising to me. Like,
Well, we don't have theaters yet open in the Philippines, so I'll take what I can get. I still need
Yeah,
theaters though, but
and that's the thing. I think it would. I mean, this could have been one of those movies where HBO like, hey, well, they are showing it in theaters as well, day and date. So that's gonna be great. So, that and Dune are two of like this year's like biggest HBO Max draws for me. So that's one. That's our trailer react and semi analysis on the Matrix Resurrection coming December 22nd, HBO Max and theaters. The next bunch. So this was I think this was Thursday. So Thursday there was a PlayStation State of Play or PlayStation Showcase where they showed all of the upcoming games for later
PS5,
this year
mostly
in
PS5.
2022. Mostly PS5. There's a lot of games that came out. I just picked the couple that were,
Near
I
and
think-
dear to our hearts.
and also I think that really like were showstoppers. So, we're gonna start. We're gonna start here. All right, we're
Yeah,
gonna
let's
start at
start.
the most. We're gonna start at the most surprising title that had dropped.
Yeah.
I have not seen the full trailer. I've seen screen grabs of this, so I know this
Oh,
is gonna
it's just
happen.
it's just a teaser, yeah. So that's why we
But
started
I've never
the-
seen the. I haven't seen the moving image, so let's run it. This is a teaser trailer for the announcement of Marvel's Wolverine, made by Insomniac Studios.
I think it's the song's copyright. I'll just mute it. So
Okay.
it's not you don't there's no dialogue anyways or anything.
Okay, so I'm seeing a not actual gameplay, which is
Guy at a
okay.
bar with a lot of people.
looking good. I saw a screen grab, so I didn't see it like moving.
And this is in the same universe as the Insomniac Spider-Man game. So we're
Was
doing
that
it.
confirmed?
Yes, I saw it in IGN. So that's it. You just see
Alright, awesome.
the claws.
I like the hat.
Yeah.
right? So, I'm very interested. Who are they going to tap to play Wolverine? This is going to be a very iconic role. This is going to be amazing franchise. This is going to be like a stupid
Yeah.
big franchise. This is their second
I've always wanted a good Wolverine game, and we never got it.
So this one I'm extremely hyped because if Spider-Man worked, like I love Spider-Man, right? The gameplay, the look, feel, the storytelling, of course, nothing
That's
matters.
the best. That's the best. Yeah.
And if it can work with a web slinging person, they can definitely ground the person and make it a Wolverine type. So I'm
I'm just
excited.
excited to play him as the gameplay, the claws, the
Mhm.
healing factor. How are they gonna
Mhm,
make it interesting?
Yeah.
How he's gonna
And
is he gonna need cars or something? How is he gonna traverse the town?
exactly. Oh,
city?
yeah. So good call. And again, so because Spider-Man works, I think Wolverine will work. Like this is a super slam dunk, and I'm happy that one of the most trusted studios, video game studios that we know, is doing it. Like Insomniac's track record is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm very confident that this is going to be a fun game. It's a game that we'll spend hundreds of hours playing. Probably this is going to be my first platinum or something. All right.
Okay,
Well,
so
who would you want to play Wolverine voice-wise?
I don't know. I don't want to go with the. Give me somebody new. Let's see. I want somebody
okay.
new. I want somebody. Yeah, bring his own thing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna hope that it's just like, I hope it's not like a big. I've been looking at Twitter and they were wanting David Harbour.
Ooh.
I
I love
but
David Harbour.
I hope it's not a Hollywood guy. I mean, for me, like maybe play safe, do the Troy Baker, do the
Somebody really good at voice acting. Yeah.
yeah, it's like of course he's gonna play it. So this is exciting. I'm more interested in who are they gonna tap to play as the voice, because I'm already sure that the gameplay is gonna be great.
Okay, so we'll move on. My question
We'll
more
move
is, will probably come out after Spider-Man 2, so maybe there's gonna be a cameo.
2023 was when it was
Spider-Man
from
2.
the
It's 2023.
2023, yeah. So,
So
after
the-
2023 for sure.
This will probably come out after, yeah, because if this was gonna be ahead, they would have shown more than a teaser.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
brings us to Spider-Man 2.
Okay, Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
also from Insomniac Games. Look
I
at
know that's
that.
what. Like I was watching, like Kind of Funny, and they were like, "How many teams do they have?" They just released
Yeah, well-
Miles, and then they're bringing this out.
Well, to be fair, wait, this has audio.
Yeah, it's okay.
For as long as I can remember, I have looked
I think it's more in the songs that they're picky.
Yeah.
for one who could push me.
Bam.
One who could surprise me.
They have the Iron Spider suit.
Classic Miles.
One who could even beat me. Yet all I found.
I think it's Craven that's talking.
See, that's the thing. Is like, It's definitely Craven.
Will one of you finally give me what I desire? Yes. We will.
I got Venom. So I mean, I was surprised that like the Twitter sphere only kind of figured that out maybe a day later. Like the person talking is Craven to the
I
three of
know.
them.
But it's like the trailer, yeah, it didn't cut it that. I mean, even I understood that, but it still didn't cut it
Oh yeah, it's not.
in a
You want
in a
to
nice
hide.
way.
But yeah, it's funny like that half frame of Venom is still better than the Venom movies that we have right now.
And the second one just it looks so bad.
Uh,
The trailer looks so
it's gonna
bad.
come out October 1st. I'm not gonna go to theaters to see that.
Is it coming out on streaming?
I hope we'll see. But again, I'm not gonna risk COVID to watch fucking Venom, bro. Think me?
There is
I was
that.
Shang-Chi. Fuck yeah! If I got COVID in the theater because I saw Shang-Chi, that's fine. But not. I don't. How embarrassing would that be? Like, sorry, I got a quarantine for 14 days. Why? Because I saw fucking Venom. It's like that's stupid. All right.
No, it's okay. No,
Um,
you go to the doctor. I saw a movie. What movie? No comment.
It's like Shang-Chi. Okay. Here's some
Okay.
medication. Good job. Venom's like, fuck you, deserve to die. No, but yeah, the Insomniac games. Well, the good thing is like, these games have already like a base, right? So that
Yeah.
you don't have to develop it from the ground up. So that should help a little bit. But this is one of those things that we have developed very, very good trust in the studio, and they're given resources by PlayStation. Yeah, they're stupid expensive. They don't do Game Pass shit like Xbox, but we get quality like this. I'm gonna happily drop $60, $70 to get these games. So particularly Wolverine. So I'm very excited. I mean,
No.
now the problem is like I'm a little too excited. I think this is gonna be
2023.
It's 2023. There's not. I don't see a lot of 2022 stuff apart from like God of War and
No,
um
Alloy.
Horizon.
Horizon.
yeah. So
So
all right, Spider-Man 2.
Speaking of God of War,
Ooh, all right. Next, so this one I've not seen at all.
I just love seeing them back.
I'm so high. PS5.
A little older.
A couple of years after.
Yeah.
Time is running out. The prophecies say Fimbulwinter leads to Ragnarok. War is coming. My story doesn't end hiding in these woods. I should be out there, finding out who I am, who Loki is.
I will not allow you to pick a fight with gods.
I don't want to fight anyone. I just want answers.
And if those answers lead to war with Asgard,
Maybe that's what Mother wanted.
we do not know what Mother wanted.
I love his voice so much.
Well, I recognize that dour expression anyway. Odin's got tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared to consider.
What if there was someone who could help us?
You mean Tyr, the old god of war in these lands, who is dead?
Well, for a dead man, Odin seemed pretty keen on seeing he wasn't found.
If he's out there, we gotta find him.
Come in. What in all yarns be
It just
that?
looks so good now.
We're trying
It
to
looked
stop
great in
Ragnarok.
PS4.
To help
What
I
more
know,
PS5?
right?
And what if the only way to do that is war?
Bam!
Is not the only way.
Stop thinking like a father for a moment and start thinking like a general.
You seem like a calm and reasonable person.
Are you?
Are you a calm and reasonable person?
I missed the axe.
In moments of crisis, panic does nothing. Harness it. Let it serve you.
Here.
Are you coming with us?
Old God of War. So that was Kratos before Kratos?
No, for the Norse.
Okay.
He's Greek.
You'll get
your
answers soon enough.
They're all in Europe.
Well, some of them.
My favorite part is the Thor line. If it is Thor.
If he's out
The one
there,
speaking. You seem
Are
like
you,
a calm.
Are you a calm? And it's it has shades of Josh Brolin. I don't know if I don't think it's him, but that's like the feel of it.
what if the only way to do that is war?
So I mean, and IGN had that thread of like high-res pictures of the characters, and I fucking love that God Thor. It looks more badass than muscular characters.
Are you a calm and reasonable person?
So good. I'm just so excited for this. Oh my god. This is I didn't platinum it, but I did as much as I could, and the game was just so
No, but
sweet.
like I powered through. I remember playing God of War to completion prior to the launch of The Last of Us 2 because I wanted to get it out of my queue. And I loved it, and I wish I was like better at these games. So I didn't even finish a single Valkyrie. You did, right? I mean, you
I finished all. Yeah, I finished all. But just
I couldn't. I could just like it's too hard. It's
I
too
hope
hard for me, but
I hope they stick to the one shot. That was so good in the first game. Just
I'm
one
sure.
shot,
I'm
no
sure.
cuts.
I'm sure. I mean,
So
that's
good.
kind of like I think, and so the one thing that I read about this is, it is going to end this story. So it's a duology. God of War and God of War 2.
Oh
There's
really?
not going to
I
be a
thought
God of War 3. Yeah, yeah. So the director confirmed it. That this is going to. This is the conclusion of this story of
Ooh,
Kratos.
maybe. Oh, so maybe it's Loki for the next one.
Again,
Oh,
I'd love the
that's
fact that you're
cool.
calling your shot. Like I love the fact that hey, this is gonna be the end. So you're gonna see the end of this. And that's good for the writers. That's good for the
What are they gonna call
animate.
it?
That's
God of Lies, God of Deception. No, sound this good. What's Loki? God of, like
God of Mischief.
Ooh, that sounds nice. I'm gonna play
Right?
that.
So again, I'm like, or maybe like, hey, maybe you do a Thor series. I don't know, but I'm just happy that I love it when you know that what's going to end. That's
Oh,
it.
yeah. Well, I mean, growing up, you always like, oh, don't end, don't end. But I always now, it's like to complete a story, you need to have a good ending.
And
you know,
again, I mean, closing one story doesn't mean that you don't have to go back to it. You can go back to it anytime, but the idea is like make a solid run right now first. So I really appreciate that. Sony Santa Monica Studios have kind of gotten their groove. Like Corey Balrog is not directing this
yeah, I
particular
think
iteration,
Eric Williams or something. Yeah.
which is good. Which means like the idea is like sometimes when
Fresh.
you know
I mean, he's still part of it.
100%, and that's
Right,
a
right.
good thing. It's like just making sure that it's balanced. It's not like a dictatorship where like it's my vision and that's it. It's good to have different perspectives from time to time, but still have the continuity from the original, the person that like reinvigorated the franchise. So I'm very happy. So I'm very hyped. And again, the PlayStation Showcase has a lot more other trailers that are very, very hype. The Forsaken one, I heard it was very, very
I love
hype.
that. I
But
loved it.
again, but these are the ones that we wanted to concentrate on. So these are for people that are thinking about buying a PlayStation 5 or has a
If
PlayStation
you can
5.
find one, that's a problem.
If you can find one, or like, if you're thinking about getting a PlayStation 5, start saving up now and maybe you can be ready to pull the trigger quickly as the new year turns and hopefully more stocks come in. Like I've read that the chip shortage will be up until next September
Yeah, I read that too.
2023. So that sucks. But again, hey, if you are willing to pay a little bit of a premium for people that are buying maybe on the secondary market, maybe these titles will be enough to sway you, like or if you want to wait until 2023 when Spider-Man 2 comes out, that's totally fine at all. So there's a good path. Your investment is not going to be like me. I have my Switch I haven't turned on for
For a while.
probably the entire year because I haven't had a game to really dive into it. I play my Xbox only because I have Game Pass, but for my PlayStation for a long time I wasn't playing it. 'Cause,
That,
like,
that
I didn't have
reminds
games.
me. 2K22 is out. Did you buy it?
Today it came out there, so that's what I'm gonna buy right after our call right now.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play 2K22.
Let me know next week
Unfortunately,
if I should
yeah.
buy it.
Right. So those were all the trailers that we wanted to watch and
Mhm.
react and share our opinions with. What's up next? So you have Chubax, tell me about the next up. The next
this
bullet
is just
in our.
like so once in a while, I'm just gonna come up with some channels that I've been watching, and maybe other people will want to watch.
Mhm.
So for my recommendation for this week is a modern martial artist. I just saw this. I think I first saw the guy in IGN. He did Mortal Kombat, this year's Mortal Kombat. He did some of the he discussed some of the moves and the stuff there. And growing up, Philippines is a boxing country too.
Mhm.
So we've always been, even if we never loved it as much as even though we weren't into it as much as like other basketball or football, we couldn't help but grow up with basketball, with
Yeah.
boxing, in the
With
Philippines.
boxing, but
So you always know about Muhammad Ali and the big fighters, George Foreman, and this guy, he just breaks down the fights and the fighting style in such a knowledgeable and fun way, like how George Foreman came back at like 45 and won, and it looked like being not being expert, it just looked like the guy, his opponent, just lost it instead of George Foreman winning it. But the way he explained it, it was he was underestimated for sure, but he set it up, dude. It's like the first few rounds, he wasn't punching 100%. It's like initially where he kept the rev down.
Mhm.
So he was keeping it down, like not hurting him, but going for the body, just going for the body. And then suddenly by the 10th round, then he was throwing full shots, and then Michael Moore was like, "What's happening?"
where did this power come from?
Yeah, and even
Yeah.
George Foreman was like, close to the knockdown, he hit him, and his hand hurt, so he knows that it hurt more and more. And then it's like, oh, it
Mhm.
was so good. And he analyzes, the alley shuffle. He even went to do the anime, like Ippo. So he
Yeah.
explained some of the moves, how it's not even as exaggerated as we think. He's going through I think K1 right now. The original K1 Grand Prix or some, I forget the name, but it's so good. Oh, just to make quick take.
Nice. So it looks like, again, it's like he a channel for different types of martial arts, primarily doing boxing and its personalities and its techniques. And it looks fun. I mean, it's good because like there's a combination of 3 to 4 minute breakdowns, but there are also like deep dives that might be
And he
20
does like
minutes long.
there's also good Muay Thai and stuff. Like he said one of the greatest Muay Thai fighters. He incorporated like the alley shuffle and stuff. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, this looks great. For people who are interested in in martial arts or just like any combat sports, and you want to know a little bit more behind the brawn of it, like the technique and the origins of it.
The science, sweet science.
Sweet science of boxing, modern martial artists. Yeah, we've seen a bunch of this. Like you shared a couple of clips in one of our calls. I've always enjoyed it. Particularly like the favorite one is like how the Hajime no Ippo anime was not as crazy as it seemed. Like, oh shit, it actually it looks. The things in anime actually look the same way in person, so that's fun. So if you're like an anime person, you want to see where those moves are based. So that's a fun channel to watch. Awesome. Wow. It's like this has been a fun show. We're gonna round up this week's episodes with a couple of like reviews of.
This is gonna have to be you because as I said, Kat was in quarantine, so we haven't seen one.
You haven't seen, so
Shang-Chi, of course, can't see it until it comes out on Disney Plus.
So last few notes, like things that we've watched this week. It's like we intend to react to the latest episodes of like big shows, much like What If in the Marvel series on Disney Plus. The latest episode of What If was the What If Zombies episode. So this was very hyped when we saw the trailer, and we were very, very interested on how the What If series will handle zombies. So I'm happy to report that it wasn't as stupid, like it wasn't like a virus, like a aerial gas that infected everybody, yada yada yada. No, it's like it was a good Marvel based reason on how our Earth's mightiest heroes became infected with the zombie virus and became zombies themselves. It is good that they establish the zombie world rules very quickly.
Okay.
Like you can see that rightly or wrongly, the people that had powers will still have powers while they're in zombie form.
Oh.
Right?
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like Doctor Strange can still be doing the spinny thing, glowy thing.
Makes it more scary, yeah.
Yeah, Captain America still had his shield. Iron Man was still in his suit doing the propulsor blast. So that's fun. Gives it a lot more action.
Not too much.
No spoilers.
No more spoiler. But just one question. Is there more in the connection to the multiverse, or is just another one-off?
So this is the thing. I think this is one of the one-off ones because it will be very hard for them to connect how the characters were laid out in this particular episode.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And my favorite part. So this is not. So I've listened to the Ringerverse and I've listened to the Kind of Funny reactions about this episode. They were very high on it, right? I'm not as high on it as them. People enjoyed the violence of it, and it's animation, so it's a good place for you to really be bloody and really be weird. So I didn't kind of enjoy that as much. But what I enjoyed the most was the super weird combinations of the heroes that were remaining.
Okay.
Right. So that was fun. So that's something to look forward to. So if this is this is probably like not middle, right? So my favorite What If episode currently was still T'Challa. Right? T'Challa is number one. Actually, I saw 2 episodes this week because I missed the Doctor Strange episode last week. The Doctor Strange one is my second favorite.
It's good, right?
It's really good. I mean, but also the animation lends itself well onto the Doctor
magic.
Strange universe, and it's again like the idea of it's the heart, and the idea of I like the idea of that absolute point in the universe, which is Dr. Christine in that particular case. So I like that multiversal part. Like I like them introducing this concept of absolutes.
Talking about Doctor Strange, I just saw a meme that made us, because we've been talking about Loki, this Loki show, and Wanda and Doctor Strange, and this one was just funny.
WandaVision, Mephisto. I feel like Kang knew it all along. Mephisto.
Everybody
And
just
I mean, that's the thing too.
doesn't want to quit.
Uh, I mean, Doctor Strange did look like Mephisto in one of those
Right?
shots,
Right?
right? So, right, I'm
And it would be a more realistic approach of like a devil, like, like having a devil in another dimension is more like somebody we created it, or he became one. So
he
we'll
became
see.
one, yeah.
We'll see how it
Good.
goes.
I like it. The zombies episode is fun. It's it's bloody, it's dark, but I kind of didn't enjoy the There's too much comedy in such a dark mood. I would have preferred to make it like super dark as
Just
well.
go
But again,
all in.
go all dark. But again, it has shades of Zombieland, which is kind of fun.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like it didn't. It's not top tier for me. I still would do
Okay.
T'Challa, but it's definitely above
Peggy.
the Captain
Captain
Carter,
Carter.
and and maybe it's toss up between the Yellow Jacket episode and this episode for me. I wanted to kind of point out as well, one of the things that kind of pulled this episode back for me is again fucking Sebastian Stan. What is the fuck up, bro?
Well, some actors are not meant to be voice actors, I guess.
It's just like, why are you so weak on it? But yeah, you will once you
I'll
see
see
it, let me know. We'll react. And last point before we do some end of show recaps. Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi last Saturday.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. And again, I agree with a lot of the channels that I've seen. It is the best made Marvel origin story.
Oh, music to my ears.
Right? Yeah, it is not within it's not a top tier Marvel movie at all. But that's a function of an origin story. That's the
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
with
It's obvious.
having a franchise. The first will never be kind of like the best. So having said that, I have some hot takes that I cannot wait to discuss with you once you watch it.
It will have
right?
to wait for Disney
Um,
Plus.
Yeah, but it is the choreography was fucking amazing.
I cannot wait.
Acting for the most part is great. The thing that I am hyped the most is I love the fact that the world, or at least the Western world, now knows who fucking Tony Leung is.
I know.
Because he fucking crushed that.
He did. Oh,
He
I cannot
fucking,
wait.
oh my god. Like, so again, another Marvel problem. They have too many amazing bad guys. Right? Like they're bad guys like Killmonger, Tony Leung.
Well,
right?
before there was a problem with not enough bad guys.
No
or
bad
not-
guys. So
or just
that's
the
thing
generic
is,
bad
like,
guys.
Tony Leung fucking killed it.
I
Oh
cannot
my god,
wait.
everybody killed it. Like even so, Aquafina, everybody looks at her as like this comedian gal.
Mhm.
I loved her in this movie on the somber parts, on the serious parts.
She
Really, really
wasn't
good.
she wasn't stock. They didn't use like she wasn't like a cutout of herself. was like a
She
real
was
character.
still kind of like the quirky best friend that has
Mhm.
the quippy one-liners and shit like that. But she has as many dramatic moments as comedic moments, which I appreciated. Which I was surprised because I
And
thought
it's
that
not
it wasn't gonna
it's
land.
not a love story.
Not forced. No. So I mean, not a spoiler, but I love the way that these are best friends.
I like
These are
that
best
too.
friends,
Yeah.
and it's great.
It's real. It's it's a guy and a girl can be best friends.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're just best. If you've known each other for like 15 years and you haven't fucked for 15 years, then you're not gonna fuck, right? So,
And like what
but it's
Rick said, they're like a guy and a girl, a platonic relationship with a girl. It's hypothetical, extremely hypothetical.
But the effects were great. Shang-Chi's kicks were great. Always wearing Jordans, amazing. Again, the usual Marvel problem where it kind of falls apart on the third act, or they pack too many things in the third act.
Or too much visually, like
Yeah,
too much
see,
effects.
that's the other thing too. It's like I not to spoil too many things, but I'm a big fan of CGI. But they built the first 2/3 of the movie to be very, very grounded to the characters, very
It's the
character
same
driven.
thing
That's
with
why
same with Black Panther.
Black Panther again. And that's I think the function of an origin story because you want to show the world, and the world is not just the characters. But I think it's a problem because they develop the characters so well that when you introduce something too fantastic,
That's
kind of
fine.
it's yeah. So,
Yeah,
but again, I cannot wait for you to see it. I have super duper hot takes about Shang-Chi. Not about the story, but just like there's like everybody is raving about certain things that was like, dude, just like watch it again. Like, I love this movie. It's probably top of the middle tier, right? Fuck, we have 25 Marvel movies now.
I know.
25.
If you say top 10, that's really good already. Not
It's really good.
I mean,
It's
before,
really good.
how can you say that about a franchise, a top 10?
But again, how are you going to pierce Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, Black Panther,
Winter Soldier.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Ragnarok? Even just those six, I don't know how to place them. Right?
Yeah,
It's so hard.
Yeah. We'll
It's
have to
very
do
good.
that
But
in the future.
that's it on my end. Is there anything
We're
else
done.
on your end you want to?
I guess just homework. Have you seen the finale of Rick and Morty?
Oh, not yet.
Okay, so that's our homework for next week.
For next week, all right. Next week
Let me put that in.
uh
Should be in the middle, right?
yeah.
So your homework is Hospital Playlist and Rick and Morty.
Your homework is catching up with What If.
Yes.
All right. And then if we ever see, yeah, I don't think there's something coming out next week very well, but
Just
all
one.
right. So as Chubax is as writing out our show notes again, thank you for sticking with us for our discussions of all of the fun things that we want to play, want to watch, have seen, have watched, have played. Feel free to join the discussion. Right? Add us on Twitter at +63HP. Again, and subscribe to our podcasts. It's now available in starting with the two most major ones, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Will be in every major podcast service around the world shortly. Give us some time. It's like it's a two-man operation.
We're
for
still
now.
trying to cut it to 1 hour, but we are unsuccessful.
Hey, but again, it's like the channel inspiration was like a little bit drawn out.
We
But
did talk
again,
about the
on-
introduction, so that would have cut maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. And we'll again, we're also on YouTube. Find us +63HP or bit.ly/+63HP. Chubax, parting words.
Stay safe and see you next week.
Yeah, can say a bit better. Stay safe and see you guys next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.